Chimaev fight, to me, it's massive in two regards, because it finally feels like Chimaev is knocking on the doorstep of, or standing on the doorstep of a championship opportunity. For a long time, we thought that Khamzat Chimaev would become a guy that would fight for the UFC championship. He just seemed destined for it. Then he beats Kamaru Usman. Granted, Kamaru's up, it's on short notice, it's very competitive. He wasn't as dominant as you thought, but you knew he wouldn't be because Kamaru's that good. And now he gets Robert Whittaker back-to-back. There could be no denying that he should fight for the championship next. But this fight tells me two things. It tells me, one, these two are going to fight in Saudi Arabia to decide who gets the championship opportunity. It tells me, two, that the next fight for the middleweight champion, Dricus du Plessis, is already done. They know it's Israel Adesanya. Because if you didn't know it was Israel Adesanya, you would keep one of these two guys open to have the opportunity to give a guy a chance. I don't know what that means for Sean Strickland, but I really do feel like he might get pushed to the back now that they just booked that fight between those two.
I was impressed, but I wasn't surprised. Listen, I learned what jiu-jitsu was by a man that weighed 176 pounds over the luxury of my television named Royce Gracie back in 1993, and Royce and his family maintained that the skills and technique of jiu-jitsu, particularly within a gi, could overcome size. I think we got reminded of it here, but look, Demetrius has won everything that I've ever seen him compete in. This wasn't a surprise.
I tend to be a lot more critical of myself, and I think at the time, immediately after, I wasn't happy with myself, like immediately after. And I think it's just because I wanted the KO, and I knew I could have done more during the fight. And then when I watched the fight back, and even speaking to my coaches backstage, they're like, "Do you not realize what you just did?" And taking a lot more time, and yeah, definitely impressed. Kevin Holland is a top competitor, tough guy, and I made that definitely a lot easier than most would.
Because I was so hard on him last week. I know everybody was like, "Oh man, you hard on him," and I was really hard on him. So now. And I like to be hard on fighters because I expect more out of them. But when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And now I wanted to find a way to apologize to him. So I wrote him a poem. Chris, I was wrong. I should have known all along, just by listening to your song, that you won't back down. I guess you're back now. That's a fact now. A performance like that, I had a fans coming back round. From the slump that all started with the kick. That had your legs snap like a pretzel stick. Mad surgeries and staff, and now you still killing. You shouldn't be walking, much less standing toe to toe with Brazilians. I guess you won't back down. But I'm petty like Tom, right? But you did stick your fingers in them like a dude on prom night. Sorry, Chris Weidman. I was wrong about you. You can still fight a little bit.
I feel smarter from this experience, Dean.
Know Chris pretty well, so for me, I'm not necessarily as focused on the nonsense. I'm just hoping my friend gets a victory and gets his hand raised in that building. So, but Money, what do you think? I mean, with what he was saying about how when you get poked in the eye like that, you can't just go down. You gotta.
I agree with him, because Bruno, the Brazilian guy, all the time was doing a big drama, man, you have to defend yourself. I think sometimes you have to take your time to recover, like he did. But if the guy keep poking you on the eye, you have to still defending yourself, because the way he did, I didn't like.
There was another fight on the card, Nursultan versus Dumas. Nursultan clips him in the eye, but then Dumas goes down, and then he just gets the ground and pound. What did you think of that one?
I think was worse than Chris Weidman, to be honest. When he poked in the eye, the guy was defending himself, and the other guy went and knocked him out. So the problem is, I wish people got the referees give more points deduction.
100%. Right? With respect to Weidman, it's like if you're doing this the whole time, I agree with you, man. There has to be more stakes, whether it's grabbing the fence. See guys all day grab. How many times is that how the sport works, where the official just takes the arm up? No, you grab the fence. I hear you.
307, 308, 309, 310, 311. Move, Tony. Let's go. Yeah. 315, 316, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 25. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Old school. Let's go. Let's go. You're strong. You're strong. Yes. Don't quit. Let's go. Good job. Good job. Yes. 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 Okay.
I'm not done recording.
What?
Keep fighting at a level anymore. I'd taken punishment and taking punishment until I couldn't take it anymore. And then when I got to the point that I couldn't take it anymore, then I was like vilified as like, oh, she was all hype and she was just lucky and she, you know, and people making all these judgments about me in a fight where I was literally, my first loss, I was not like, my mouth guard was bad. I literally came into that fight concussed from slipping down some stairs already after all of these years of, concussions. And then I had absolutely terrible weight cut, which, you know, that means you have less fluid in your brain to protect it. And I was out on my feet for the entire fight. I was just trying to make it look like I wasn't hurt, but I wasn't there cognitively. I couldn't think as fast. I couldn't judge distance. And just from that one fight, everybody felt like, oh, she's a fraud. And I know that, like, I'm the greatest fighter that has ever lived, but when it got to a point where I'd just taken so much neurological damage that I couldn't take it anymore, suddenly everything that I accomplished meant nothing. And so then after that second fight, and I saw how all these people that was coming back to fight for had suddenly turned against me, all of my appreciation for them turned into resentment. And I just didn't want to have anything to do with them anymore. I didn't want to do anything for them anymore because I gave them everything that I had, and they hated me for not being able to give them more. And people making all these judgments about me in a fight where I was literally, my first loss, I was not like, my mouth guard was bad.